Imagine your mind as a city that never sleeps, a crossroads of congested avenues where the noise is incessant. Every thought is a honking car, every worry a screaming billboard. This is overthinking, a mental paralysis disguised as analysis. It's an invisible prison of past regrets and future fears, draining your energy and stealing your present moment. You wake up, and before you open your eyes, yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's tasks attack. You dissect a conversation from 3 days ago, imagining better things to say. Then, you jump to future catastrophes that haven't happened. This isn't planning. It's self-sabotage. Your mind is a runaway horse, and you've lost the reins, becoming a hostage in your own consciousness. Science calls this rumination a loop of negative thoughts that triggers your body's survival alarms. You're in a boat during a storm, trying to control the waves with your bare hands. The result is exhaustion and anxiety. But 2,000 years ago, men in worse conditions found the key to absolute inner peace. Today, you will learn that secret. The Stoics weren't just philosophers. They were emperors and slaves who lived through plagues and wars. They couldn't afford the luxury of excessive thoughts. They needed clarity to survive. Stoicism isn't about hiding emotions, but about understanding the mind's architecture to disarm the traps we set for ourselves. Let's look at the secret that allowed Marcus Aurelius to rule with serenity. Stoic wisdom begins with one distinction: the dichotomy of control. Epictetus, a slave who became a master, taught that some things are under our control, while others are not. We live in misery because we spend 90% of our energy trying to control the uncontrollable while neglecting the one thing we actually own: our internal choices. What do you control? Your opinions, your intentions, and your own actions. What is outside your control? Other people's opinions, the economy, or your reputation. The overthinker is a slave to external circumstances. When you worry about what others think, you surrender your peace to them. By doing this, you become a victim of a world you cannot change. Stop trying to calm the sea. Focus on navigating your own boat. You cannot control the words others say, but you control your judgment of them. This shift is the key to mental freedom. When you stop taking responsibility for things outside your power, the heavy weight on your chest begins to lift. You are finally free. Imagine a presentation at work. The overthinker fears failure and judgment things he cannot fully control. The Stoic focuses only on his preparation and effort. He does his absolute best and accepts the result with equanimity. He fulfills his duty to himself, knowing the outcome belongs to the world. This is how you act without the burden of anxiety. How do we apply this? Use negative visualization. Instead of avoiding fears, look them in the eye. Imagine the worst-case scenario happening. This isn't pessimism, it's a vaccine. By visualizing the worst, you realize you have the resources to handle it. The monsters in your mind lose their power when you stop running and start observing them. Try radical objectivity. Marcus Aurelius taught us to strip events of emotional layers. Don't say, "I'm going to fail and lose everything." Say, "I have a challenge and I feel a physical sensation of tension." Removing the tragic judgment reduces the thought's power. Deal with raw facts, not the scary stories your mind invents to keep you afraid. Use a therapeutic journal. Marcus Aurelius wrote for himself, not for us. When you put thoughts on paper, you stop being the thought and start observing it. Externalizing your worries makes them appear smaller and more manageable. It's like cleaning a messy room. Once everything has a place on paper, the mental storm begins to clear. Anchor yourself in the present. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than reality." When your mind jumps to the future, use your senses to return. Feel the chair, hear the sounds, and focus on your breath. The present is the only place where you have power. The future and past are ghosts. Don't give them your life. The true Stoic secret is moving from a passive reactor to an active creator of your reality. Most people let external events dictate their happiness. If the world is kind, they are happy. If it's harsh, they suffer. The Stoic breaks this chain by placing a filter of reason between the event and the emotional response. In the space between stimulus and response lies your freedom. Overthinking happens when you ignore this space. An email or a comment triggers instant panic. The Stoic trains to expand that gap. He pauses, breathes, and chooses a response based on reason, not impulse. This gap is where your true power as a human being lives. You stop being a victim and become the master of your character. Your goal isn't a life without problems, but becoming someone strong enough to handle any problem. When you change your identity from fragile to resilient, overthinking loses its purpose. It no longer has a job to do because you trust your ability to endure and adapt. The thumbnail of this video shows the battle. The chaotic side is the mind trying to control the world. The calm side is the mind focusing on its own virtue. Peace isn't the absence of the storm, it's the presence of an unshakable internal refuge. You build this refuge brick by brick every time you choose reason over worry. Mastering the mind is a journey, not a destination. You will have days when overthinking wins, but now you have the map. You know how to recognize when you're chasing things outside your control. Virtue isn't about being perfect. It's about staying on the path. Every time you catch yourself ruminating, you have a chance to practice. Life is more like wrestling than dancing. It's a daily combat against irrational tendencies. But the reward is a clear mind and a calm heart. Start today. Take a deep breath and bring your mind back to this exact moment. This is the only place where you are truly alive and where your power can actually make a difference. The Stoicism niche is growing because people need real solutions to modern anxiety. You have ancient knowledge that works. With this quality and consistency, you will reach the right audience. Don't focus on the views. Focus on the value you provide. The algorithm eventually rewards those who refuse to quit and continue to master their craft. My challenge for you: apply the dichotomy of control right now. Identify one worry and ask, is this under my control? If not, let it go. If you are committed to this journey, comment the word control below. Subscribe for more ancient wisdom applied to modern life. I will see you in the next video.